people? It's your boy Chig from Unit Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. You're through to Late Nights with Chig, where I talk to you about topics surrounding football, although recently it's been predominantly about Arsenal. So let's get into it. I think there's one place to start today. It's positive news. It's good news. It was pleasantly surprising news, and that is Joe Willock. Joe Willock has signed a brand new Arsenal contract, Arsenal or a extension to his current deal. As far as I was aware, his previous deal wasn't close necessarily to running out. The belief is that he's signed on until the end of the 22-23 season. So it looks like it's probably a new deal with better terms. Fully deserves it, even at this early stage. So I can't imagine he was on too much money previously. So I think that this is a really positive move from the Arsenal. And fair play to this board, and particularly Raul. These motherfuckers are making some nice moves. They're recognizing the assets we have, and they're making moves quickly to secure them. And make no mistake, Joe Willock is proving to be a hell of an asset that we have. 20 years old, joined the club, I believe, when he was 9, although was hanging around the ground when he was 4 years old. Apparently, and I know this because Joe Willock did an interview, so I actually know this. He was hanging around the ground when he was 4.5, 4 years old. Was asked to join in a couple of games because obviously he has two other brothers who are footballers. One was previously with Arsenal, and that was Chris. And then the other person, I've forgotten the damn name of his other brother, but I believe I can't remember who he ended up playing for, but he wasn't that great. Him and Chris were always very close. Chris, I believe, is about 2 to 3 years older than him. And actually, Chris was always seen as the better brother. He was always seen as the guy that was going to make it out of the two. Very strong. We saw him a couple of times in the Carling Cup. Strong, imposing, good little player. But for whatever reason, the previous manager just never fancied him. Ended up selling him to Benfica. And I believe now he's at West Brom. But Joe Willock kind of noticed him come on the scene maybe 2 years ago. And what I like about him is how tenacious he is. He's a very, he doesn't do anything magnificent. He's just a good, solid, all-round and combative midfielder. Can play anywhere across the midfield, although tends to play well when given free rein. So in all the attacking spots, your number 10s, you're playing him on the right-hand side, you're going to see Willock doing really well. Recently, he started to nail down a place a little bit more, a bit deeper than we've seen Willock, playing in that kind of number 8 hole next to Guendouzi. But I like the partnership of those two. I think they have pretty good understanding. I think you could see that they're obviously the exact same age. And perhaps when Guendouzi isn't chatting with Uber and Lacazette all day, he would be a typical sort of person you'd go to and spend time with. And you can kind of see that kind of understanding on the pitch. And I'm excited to see what the two will bring to the table, particularly because if rumors are to be believed, we're currently in talks to extend Guendouzi's deal. We obviously want to extend Aubameyang and Lacazette, but I'm just focusing on young players at the moment. And I imagine if Reece Nelson, for example, kicks on and has a good season, partway through this season, I can imagine him signing a new deal. What was really nice about today was actually hearing the words of what he said. I'm not going to lie, I'm a sucker for this type of shit because for me, it's always nice hearing, whether it's true or not, it's a different debate. But it's always nice hearing a player share the sort of sentiments that you do as a fan. So for me, I saw Joe Willock today genuinely emotional that he was signing a contract, not just a professional contract, no, a contract where shit, I'm part of the first team, like proper. Like this is it. This is it. And you could tell that when he was being interviewed today. And the sort of words, I don't even have the quote to hand, but the sort of words he was using was, the club is in my heart, and this is the club that I need to be playing for. I'm not even saying it well, but that was kind of paraphrasing a little bit, but that was, he used the word, the club is in his heart, you know? And it's nice hearing things. It's nice these, at least a couple of these players giving a damn and showing that they give a damn. And that's actually why I would have played him last week, or whenever it was when we played Spurs. But yeah, I think for me, this was great news. This is a great little boost coming back into the Premier League where, let's be honest, as Arsenal, we need to start putting some wins together. Watford away is never an easy game, and I'll cover that more tomorrow. But I thought this was a really, really feel-good day today for Arsenal, and I'll talk about some other stuff in a second that even goes further to support that. Today was a good day for Arsenal. So we had some encouraging stuff today. But you guys let me know what you think. Are you happy that Joe Willock has signed a new deal? And what do you think of Raul's move to secure these youngsters nice and early, you know? It's almost like we're behaving like a big club. I know, right? But no, I think it's I'm all about rewarding good performances. And when Guendouzi was being talked about giving a new contract in the summer, in my mind, I was like, no. But actually, the way Guendouzi has kicked on this season, yeah, I'd be open to it now. And Willock has started the season well. I'd like to see him feature more because the person that's replacing him in the team shouldn't even be lacing his boots, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy. Really happy. I just hope he kicks on now. I hope he blossoms into the player that he's definitely showing signs of being. Anyway, let's go into other good news. See, who says I just do negative shows? And that's Kieran Tierney and Hector Bellerin. Seemingly the two besties. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch, go on the Arsenal YouTube channel or their Insta. These two look like absolute fucking besties, which I think is almost sweet. But yeah, it seems like they are pretty much in full training. I won't quite go as far as to say they are, because there was a point in the session where clearly they were just training by themselves, but they took part in a lot of first team action today. Kieran Tierney even nutmegged Mustafi, which was, you know, water is wet type of thing. It's like, yeah, sure, of course. Why wouldn't you nutmeg Mustafi? Makes a change one of our players nutmegging them, because Lord knows we have enough of opposition players nutmegging them, so why wouldn't they? But yeah, it's just a really feel good day today. I enjoyed it as an Arsenal fan. I hope you guys did too. That was pretty much it on the news front today. Good news. So I guess there's not really much to debate about. But what do you guys think about the Hector Bellerin and Kieran Tierney news today? Are you guys hopeful? I know lots of people in particular can't wait for Kieran Tierney to be back. Not to mention that Rob Holding is in contention this weekend. I know, we're actually getting people back from injury. Like, this never happens. But yeah, it looks like, without trying to borrow Arsene Wenger's line here, maybe we're getting 3 new signings, one of which is actually a new signing. So, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy because I've seen some encouraging signs in the team. There's 3 people that would, I think, 100% start in our first team moving forward. Defensively, we've needed help. Help is on its way. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking forward now and I'm hopeful now for this team. So You guys let me know what you think. Again, leave it in the comments below. Right, I'm going to pop into the chat. I'm going to be very, very strict with myself today. So I'm going to spend 12 minutes in the chat answering some of your questions. So please do bombard me. Not many of you guys watching today, but I know I'm doing a late night one. And I tend to pick up views for this the following day, which is really weird. but please do stick a like on this video, because the more you guys do that, the more other people will notice the video has been done. Right, so let me go into the chat and see what you guys are saying. I did see VP earlier. Hold on, let me see Rob Reeves. What has he got to say? What is this Rob Reeves problem? Like, what is his problem? Rob Reeves, I'm guessing you're a troll. So what I'm going to do, let me just remove you from the channel. But before I do, please understand this. Just because news breaks doesn't mean only one person should handle that news. One of our players has signed a new contract. Not only Lee is entitled to that news. And the funny thing is, he would say the same shit. So you clearly are trolling to create a problem. I get it. I hear you. You've got to get your attention any way you can get it. I understand. But just so you know, I'm not paying you any more attention. So here's what I'm going to do. Oh, wait. Hold up. Before I do that, I should inform you. I've cleared the space. All expenses paid is a seat right at the front of the block party. Please enjoy your stay. Prick. Right. Matty. Thank you, Edward. It escaped my mind. It escaped my mind. Easy fellas, got a new job today. Passed the interview. Congratulations, Limbo Camp. Well done. Congrats. Rumple foreskin. Yo. It's brilliant to see us tying down our up-and-coming players to long-term contracts. I think this is a shift in behavior completely. And that's what I like. I like the fact that we are shifting how we do business. And for me, I'm happy with that. I'm completely happy with that. Yeah, I don't expect Hector to come back into the first team probably till mid-October, to be fair. To be perfectly honest, if holding Hector, maybe Tierney might be bled in a little bit sooner because his injury isn't as long-term as the others. But if I feature here and there, 10, 15 minutes, really get them up to pace, and that's how you build fitness. Then you give them the Carabao Cup performances. Again, just to build their fitness, keep them going. That's the only way you're going to get them fit. Tierney's, I think, was only been injured since end of April. So to answer, say, for example, Jon Snow's question, wonder if that's the real Jon Snow. He would be more fitter than the others. So yeah, I do expect that. Holding and Hector, I think, will take more time. Plus, both of those were knee injuries. So I think with knee injuries, you just got to be a little bit careful. Smith Rowe is also back in training. Yes, he is. That is true. Archie, I was funny enough, you just reminded me. I ain't going to lie. I read that article earlier. So, yes, Ceballos gave a long interview today, and he talked about the fact that he was very impressed with Liverpool as a team, that he's not seen a team play a lot better than Liverpool this season in any league. And so he was very impressed by Liverpool. So I know a lot of Liverpool fans are going to get gassed talking about how they're going to take him and all this shit or whatever. And he basically was really impressed with our front line. He says that he loves Pepe's directness, loves Uber's pace and the way he's able to lose his marker. But he believes out of the three, which is what I think I said from day one, by the way, that Lacazette is the best player. He's just the all-round player because he can do a little bit of all of them. I don't think he's as good a dribbler as Pepe, and I don't think he's as quick as Uber, but I think he has more intelligence than the three. I think he knows when to drop off, how to drop off, can finish when he feels like it. I think he's just a better player, physically more combative, more ready for the first team. So yeah, I 100% agree with Ceballos. Love all three, but yeah, for me, Lacazette's the better player. I'm hoping I change my mind on that, and Pepe absolutely kills the league and makes me look silly. But I think so far, from what I've seen out of all three, Lacazette looks the best player, which is why it's baffling that Giroud gets into that France team before Lacazette. It don't make no sense. It's like how Lingard gets into the England team. There's no form of sense. But hey ho. Mustafi got nutmegged by Tierney. Yes, I did mention it, man. I did mention it. Tierney and Holding needed against United. Too soon. Maybe Tierney, but even then I think it's too soon. I don't see that being the case. And we should, in theory, be able to beat United, but us and Old Trafford, man, I don't know where I'm going. Guys, please do continue to hit that like button if you're enjoying yourself. Show me some love, people. Show me some love. Chig, you see Ceballos' comments? Yes, I did. Chig, are you buying Ceballos will fall in love with the club like all Arsenal fans think will happen? Nope. I hope it will, but I'm not relying on the fact it will. I think he's an excellent player. I said that from the moment we were linked with him. I said that. I think he's an excellent technical player. In fact, the moment we were linked with him, I made a controversial call, and that was I felt that he was a Santi-esque player. I still feel that. I think in the next 2 to 3 years, whether it's for us, Madrid, Liverpool, whoever, I think he will turn into that. I think I've seen enough in him that makes me think, okay, this is a good player. And I still think that if we can make a deal happen, great. I don't think it's the end of the world that we didn't get something in the contract that says we have an option to buy. I think if Zizou stays at Madrid throughout the season, and with Real Madrid, you never know, but if he stays past next season, it increases our chances because supposedly these two can't stand each other. So, yeah, I'm hoping for the best, but I'm not, if he decides not to stay, it's not the end of the world to me. I feel like we could still, to be honest, cool, go and get that Wolves midfielder. We're going to call him Neves. Go get that Wolves midfielder. Go get Neves. Who's Premier League proven. I think he's a year older than Ceballos, but still very young. Go and get Neves. And I still think he'll do a good job. Everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, please. Thank you, Mad. Chig, did you see Adebayo's comments on us cursing Arsenal fans on Insta comment sections? Oh, cussing Arsenal fans on Insta comments sections. No. No, I don't watch for Adebayo like that. My man frustrated me when he played for Arsenal, never mind anywhere else. David Luiz Socrates partnership is dreadful. Oh, suddenly people are realizing this. I think they bring the worst out of each other. So yes, I could see the need for rushing holding back because of that. Hello, Chambers did fine against Newcastle. I thought he was better than Socrates against Newcastle as well. I don't know why you don't just bring back Chambers. That people just forget that this motherfucker exists. I'd play Chambers, to be honest. Glad that I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do 10 minutes overtime for you guys. So 11 o'clock, I'm out. 11 o'clock UK time, I'm out. I like it when you guys get me bubbling and enjoying the show. About OT Fun app. Chig, did you see? Oh yes, I did that. Glad the PL's back this weekend. Yeah, me too. Me too. Ozil's in training. If he's not in the squad against Watford, he won't feature all the season. Yeah, I've got to admit, because I don't think that's. I know I got into a debate with someone at work saying, "Do you think it's still a security thing with Ozil?" Nah, they play Kolasinac. I mean, all right, I know that Ozil is the actual target, and Kolasinac's been caught up in the beef by backing his boy, but. Nah, I just think Emery doesn't fancy him. It's as simple as that. And I don't see him playing the way to Watford. Watford are a big physical unit. I don't see him playing in that game. If you're going to play Ozil, to be honest, Spurs at home would have been the game. He actually plays quite well, actually, usually against Spurs at home. I can't take that away from him. Spurs at home, Ozil tends to play quite well. Spurs away, that's another question, another debate. Ozil's in training, if not in the squad, against Watford. Okay, I just read that. Chig, if we can get him permanently, we can play Willock in the number 10, Ramsey style. We should go and buy Ziyech. You know me. I've wanted Ziyech for a long time, but I disagree with you, Lundberg Camp. First of all, I play Willock as a number 8. I think out of the two, I'd like someone else if we were to buy him in a number 10 spot. I like the idea of a hard-working number 10, and I think Sabros will do that. And I think next to Willock, you put in an actual DM, not a Torreira, not a Xhaka, a DM, where all they love doing is tidying the fuck up. That's what I want to see in my midfield. Yeah, I know, Ryan, you two play games with my notifications, man. Sorry, man, I hope you're good. There's only 2 players I want if we don't get Danny permanent, and that's Kai Havertz or Sal. I'll tell you what, both are excellent players. I will say this though, Archie, Havertz is a number 10. I know people are trying to spit bars at me that he's a number 8. He's a number 10. He's a number 10. You watch him blossom into a number 10. And as for Auer from Lyon, excellent player. My man is going clean under the radar as well. And I'm hoping it stays that way if we don't get someone else. So yes, you're right. I'd include those 2 in my replacements. So if Sabas wasn't to stay, one of those 2, let's be honest, we have no chance of getting Havertz. So we might as well discount him now. But Aya from Lyon or Neves from Wolves, I'd still have Neves. I'm sorry. I'd still have him. Yeah, and then yes, that would be my ideal lot. Thank you for the light, mate. Thank you, brother. I'll definitely give Chambers a chance instead of Socrates. Oof. Yeah, Socrates is playing badly. Louise ain't playing much better though, mate. I will say that, Brandon. David Luiz was brought in to fill in defensive void until January. You guys have a lot of hopes for January. I think January is going to disappoint a lot of people. G, the PT, Chig Monster. What up, bro? Yep, you're good, man. Brian OG, if Ziyech is really that good, why is he still at Ajax. Bro, you could say that about any good player that isn't at Arsenal or Real Madrid or Barca or you could say that about anyone. This doesn't mean a damn thing. It doesn't. Yes, I agree. It's unusual that he had a cheap release clause and no one triggered it. But just because no one triggered it doesn't make him shit. There's only so much money for people to go around. So yeah. Plus, people went in for him and he rejected the move. Sevilla went in for him. He rejected the move. He said he only wants to leave Ajax for a special club. You know, he's always wanted to come to Arsenal. I think he'd go to Liverpool for sure. And obviously, like the top echelon teams. Outside of that, I don't see him just leaving Ajax for no reason. So don't get it twisted. And listen, Edward, don't worry about him being selfish. Trust me. If he was in the team, he'd add some shit. Ozil will play Europa League games, possibly. I've got a feeling Ozil's on his way out. You watch. This DC United rumor didn't really get denied. The window just closed and that was it. But we know that American teams tend to make their moves in January. So just keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. Imagine if we bought Ziyech, Neves, sold Xhaka, Mustafi, and Mickey, would we be title contenders? Maybe with a defender on top of that, yeah. Where is Daddy Lover, the second account? Whose second account? That's the real question. Dan Mack. What up, brother? Hope you're good, my man. Yeah, don't worry, brother. YouTube like playing games with my notifications. I've realized now it's their way of controlling certain things. We should go for Ndidi for DM. Yeah, but I think they'll lose Madison sometime between now and next summer. For them to lose Ndidi as well, oh man. But yes, I would love him. Not just because he's Nigerian, but because he's actually a good player. If we replace Xhaka with a proper DM like Ndidi and got Upamecano, we would challenge. Yep, I agree with that, Brandon. I agree with that. Hey, Summer Whitaker. Have you been talking to Lee? He's loving life out there. Lucky motherfucker. Yeah, he's enjoying himself. I spoke to him on the phone not yesterday, the day before. He's enjoying it. He's enjoying himself. Probably doesn't want to come back knowing him, but yeah, to me, I think yeah, he's enjoying himself. I know a lot of people are concerned he won't come back, but yeah, let him enjoy himself. That's what I say. And this was the thing, because me and Lee are boys, and when you have people like that idiot earlier that's clearly saying shit like he doesn't know the way mine and his show work, he's just trying to create problems. That's why I just thought, you know what? I see what you're doing. Let me just block you now. You ain't gonna create problems, all right? I agree. Chig Ozil will go to MLS, and we say 350 a week. Archie, that's weird. Me and you don't normally agree. Let's not make a habit out of that. Deluded Guna said we should sign Havertz. If we have a chance, 100%. With Havertz, I've always said with Kai Havertz, if Ozil leaves, he's 100% the replacement I want. What chance we have of getting him? Slim to none. but I would love him, of course. Plus, he's like 20, 21, something like that. Super young. Quick repat, or am I that late? You are pretty late, because I am just about to start wrapping shit up. But Joe Willock has signed a new contract, which I think is fantastic news. Love the way our club is starting to be ran and the moves that we're starting to make. And a number of people come back to training. So obviously Rob Holden is in full-time training. There's a belief that Kieran Tierney and Hector are in full-time training. I'm not quite on that bandwagon yet because I did see them training by themselves as well. But it's all positive, baby. And as someone mentioned earlier, Emil Smith Rowe is also back in training. Chig, I'm the man. Thank you, Ryan. You're the man. You're the man. Do you care if we get knocked out of the Europa? I don't care at all. I can. It's a fucking European trophy that can actually win. I can. Even as terrible as we were last season, we were one game away from actually winning that thing. So I care. And we have a better team now. So I definitely care. What about getting Madison? I wanted Madison 18 months ago. I still would love him. 60 million they're talking for him, though. Don't know about that. Yeah, I agree with you, Arch. I think we could easily make the semis. If we're about this life, we can win that thing. Like, I don't even necessarily think we need to hit top gear. Right? I know I'm gonna put an asterisk on that. A lot of that depends on who comes out of the Champions League. But I don't see United are probably our biggest threat. And I think if we are about this life, we can beat United. We can beat them. So even Wolves are in it now, aren't they? I just remembered that. So yeah, they're probably our biggest fucking threats. Let's just concentrate and we can beat them. That's my thing. Say for that, bro. Gonna watch back when you're done. All right, thank you, Don, Matt. Brandon, I care. That's very aggressive negotiating with. But here's the thing, man, SD. They are doing it. Trust me, Arsenal want to emulate what they're doing. They buy small, they sell big. They sell like massive. That's the way to do it. If you're going to do this selling model, do it properly. Chig, do you think Ozil would suit Serie A? Yeah. He's still 31, 32. I'd be shocked if he can't do it at that level. I'd be shocked. Plus, he'd have the time and the space to do whatever the hell he wanted to do. If he takes that American move, don't get me wrong, great for us. I'd be shocked, though, for him. Because he's much better than MLS. He is. Just doesn't have the work ethic. That's all it is. That's what frustrates people. Do you think Holding, Tierney, Bellerin will be ready after the next international break? Very possibly, John. I think that's a more realistic time period. I think Tierney will be up and ready. Don't worry about that. Holding and Bellerin, let's see. But Tierney will be up and running, I think. Which I know sounds weird because in a way, Holding has started his rehabilitation sooner than Tierney, but I just think the Holding injury was so much worse than the Tierney one. He's had two big injuries now as well, being while at Arsenal. So it would just be interesting to see how he recovers from that. Prediction for Watford, that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. There's another international break in a month. I'm looking forward to the break. Xhaka's off for a month. I'm worried about Torreira. His legs are gone. If we get 50 million, I'd take it. Yep, I said that in the last show, Brandon. I'd take it. My concern with the Torreira thing is we weren't getting a proper deal. But I like Torreira a lot. People will, again, hear what they want to hear. And all right, if that's what you want to hear. I'm not by any means saying he's a bad player. But this precious DM picture that people want to paint of him, I don't subscribe to that view. I think he's a good player, tenacious, determined, tracks back, puts in a tackle. But actually, if we're looking at what a DM does, he more often than not has to run back and make that tackle. He's not actually there being a presence. And I want a DM that's there being a presence. So I agree. I think I would take 50 million and sell. But that's me. That's me. Again, I'm not saying he's a bad player. It's just my view. I make a lot of controversial calls. I'm usually ahead of the curve with these types of things because I'll say some shit that you guys disagree. Then in 18 months' time, we relook and see if Chig was right, and then you realize Chig was right. so I'm gonna keep that locked, and then we'll see what happens at the end of the year. Because I know it's going to be controversial. It's not going to make me sound good, and people are going to start ridiculing like this motherfucker. I don't know what he's talking about. All right, cool, bruv. And there you go, Edward. You know what I'm going. Archie, I sort of agree with you. I sort of agree. Sort of. What happens if Holden turns into Mustafi after his injury? Then it doesn't start. Simple as that. I don't see that happening. Mustafi is not Mustafi because of an injury. Let's not get it twisted. If Emre was to go, who do you think would replace him? I think we'd go for someone like Allegri. I hope we go for someone like a Nagelsmann now. It's amazing what a year does to you. Because I wanted Allegri so badly. But actually, I like the idea of having a young coach. I think that's the way forward. Hey, Edward, don't retract your Chig Knows Best message. What's going on there? Allegri is a defensive-minded. I like Nagelsmann. I don't mind necessarily defensive-minded, my guy. I just I feel like there are better managers out there. Yeah, I think he's here's the thing, Brandon. I think he's got an amazing energy. He's very tenacious, puts in a good tackle. I disagree with this theory that he's not a box-to-box player. No, that's exactly what he is. He's a box-to-box player who is defensive-minded, but he's not a DM, but he's a box-to-box player. The problem is when he's not fit, it shows. And you know, coupled with the fact that he clearly hates it in England, you think to yourself, 50 million, yeah, all right, double our money, let's go and get someone better. To me, I think that makes sense, but like I say, that's just me. I think he's a good player. I don't think we're going to get much better than good out of him. Controversial because he's only 23, but I just don't see a Kante in him. That's all. Allegri's a winner, enough said. Yeah. Listen, I'd have Allegri, but if you ask me who would I have, it would be Nagelsmann. But I would not be disappointed if, don't get it twisted, I'm not be disappointed if Allegri came. How good do you think Reece can be? I think he's a good player. But if you're meant to be honest, Brian, out of the four, if you look at our four up-and-coming, who's going to be the big deal superstar? And yes, I know I'm going O2 right now. Let me wrap this up with this thought. If you're looking at all the kind of big deal superstars, so your our youngsters, so your Joe Willock, Emil Smith-Rowe, Bakary Sacco, and then Reece Nelson. Out of the four, I think he has the lowest ceiling. I think the other three have a much higher ceiling than what they can do. I think Emil Smith-Rowe, once he realizes what he can do, I think he'll be such a good player. I could see him being a Ramsey type of replacement. I think Saka will probably end up being a striker, to be honest. He looks like a better version of what Eddie can be. So I don't actually see him playing on the left. I see him playing as almost an Eduardo type of striker. And Willock, we're starting to see the sort of player that he could be. That doesn't mean to say I don't think Reece will make it. I think Reece is a good player. I just want to see him kick on, because the step that Willock is making, I was hoping that Reece would make. I haven't seen that yet, but let's see. Let's see. Can you imagine Allegri walking on the red carpet and Gamora music hit playing? I don't see that many DMs who are good enough to replace Torreira. Indeed he could. Indeed he could. I'd have Ndidi to replace Torreira, to be honest. Do I rate Martinelli? If so, does he have a higher ceiling than Saka? I think Martinelli would be a good player. Do I think he'd have a higher ceiling than Saka? Hard to say. They're both very, very young. I think sometimes it's not so much about who has the highest ceiling, it's about who will develop quicker. And that's why I'm not preparing to write off Nelson, because quite honestly, people can develop at different rates. If you notice, I'm not written off Eddie either, because people develop at different rates, especially when you're young. I won't necessarily answer that. I think they both have very high ceilings. I think Saka will just have cup involvement unless he really exceeds. But I think that will be the extent of his first team this season. Probably similar to Smith Rowe as well, unless we get an injury crisis. Do you think Wenger is right to keep revealing who almost signed? TW, see my video on that yesterday. I'm very excited for Saka, considering Emery is a defensive coach. I don't think Emery is a defensive coach, so I disagree with that. Martinelli pace is frightening. Dini is injured for Sunday. Oh, finally, maybe the guy won't score against us then. Probably still find a way to score against us. We should move for Mavra. We should move Mavra on in January, not loan him. I think that's the plan, to be honest, Brandon. Saka played in Europa League last season. Right. Okay, guys. I think that's enough. 42 minutes. I've gone right over time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please do continue to crush that like button. Hit the subscribe button. I will be back tomorrow to do a preview for the Watford game. On Saturday, I will probably do another video. On Sunday, I'm going to do a starting 11. Then I'm going to do a watch along. So make sure you do not miss that watch along, people. So I'll be doing a watch along. I'll probably go live from about 4:15 and then crack on with the watch along. And then maybe a couple of hours after that, I'll do player ratings. So content. Next week, I will open the movie channel that you guys helped me create, Chig Flicks. So look out for that. That'll be my new movie channel where I'm going to start to react to trailers. So all sorts of new trailers. So do keep an eye out on that. That's pretty much it from me. So I'm out of here, people. Take care. Peace.